Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is Legacy Conversations, and I'm your host, Jackie Ma. This is an uncensored spiritual platform for leaders to come together to share wisdom, knowledge, healing our hearts, and hopefully co create and make the world a better place. I am so blessed and excited today to share this space and bring in Simone Sivan, who is a beautiful sister who is doing big work in the world. She is a mother, a medicine woman, an author, and an artist. And through her spiritual journey of awakening, she is gifting the planet with an entire body of knowledge and wisdom that she has brought through in the form of books and many other sacred things. So I'm really excited to dive into the experience with her today and learn more about her work and the legacy that she's bringing forward, which is very, very powerful. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Siobhan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's start a little bit with the beginning of the journey, if that's okay with you. I'm so curious
Yes,
about, I know you're from Hong Kong, right?
yes. I'm from Hong Kong in the city, big city, where most people think diving into the deep spiritual journey will happen maybe in somewhere a sacred sites or somewhere with beautiful mountains like oceans and stuff like that. And very interestingly, it just happened in the middle of the city unexpectedly. And so this itself to me, it's already a divine miracle.
Yeah, it is a divine miracle. How old were you when the onset of this?
The energies actually came through me on in 2012. That's when I first get married.
Okay.
And in 2014, that's when the energies truly come through and start talking to me. And
Mhm.
slowly over the last decade, I commune, develop different things like potions, ciphers, arts. And all these codes helped me to dive deeper and understanding what it is. Back then, no one really talks about rainbow. People in my city focus on um, connecting, channeling, the mediumship. So to me, I had to kind of travel around the world to understand what this gift is all about. And through the divine feminine practices is really the key to help me ground and even rebirth myself to step into what I'm doing right now.
Mm,
And I think that passion within me, that drive within me is because I too want to leave a legacy in this world. And because that's what I see, that love, that eternal love, that people behind me can benefit from it.
mm.
And so, yeah, that's the drive behind all these work.
That's beautiful. All right, let's go back to the beginning a little bit so that the audience understands. So let's talk about the majestic rainbow. So for somebody
Yes.
who's never heard of that before, so you started to channel energy and information was coming to you, and it was coming to you in the form of this frequency. I'll let you speak it, but I just wanted to preface so that way you can like lead them into what it even is and then the body of
Yes. This majestic rainbow love, it's a pure frequency of wisdoms that is coming through to help us as a humanity to bring peace and harmony.
it.
And how do we actually, um, find peace and harmony within ourselves? We can see throughout sacred texts, people are striving for that rainbow light around them.
Mhm.
And so that's why, as I channeled through, there are different practices that helps us activate this rainbow light around us. But most importantly, why are we doing it? Is it to become enlightenment? Is that what is it about? To me, ultimately, bringing that, activating that rainbow light is to bring love and unity within ourselves first, but also on this planet.
Mhm.
And as you look around right now, there are lots of releasing. and we are going through great transformations. And to me, it's there are better things that's coming through. That's why we are going through all these cleansing. And we are all dreaming of this new world, which is living in harmony with everything, all creations. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so rich. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Dreaming in this bigger dream and holding this bigger capacity for what's possible and what wants to be born on this planet. And the understanding that not everybody's going to live in the experience that we're dreaming, and everybody's dreaming. And yeah, it's powerful, powerful. So I'm really curious. So, how old were your children when this started to come through for you?
Actually, my elder daughter was in my tummy. That's when I had my wedding. And my first cipher deck cards was channeled through when my son was in my tummy. So
Mhm.
all these childrens are just
This-
gifts
Yeah.
to us, really.
Mhm.
And we are just bringing through co-creating with them. That's how I see them. I
Mhm.
learn from them every single day. I think it is very important to learn from people in front of us who has walked in front of us, but also equally important to have that humility to learn from people who walk behind us. They have so much gift, so rich. And how I also see it is leaving a legacy. It's part of helping them. We give them all that we have,
Yes.
knowing that it's not perfect in terms of pure love or whatever we dream of, and it does not matter. They have to understand that we spend our entire life doing our very best
Mm.
to derive the wisdoms, the understanding we have, and pass this light to them,
Mhm.
because they are the future of our world, and they will for sure bring our humanity one step forward.
Lord.
And so that's the drive behind why I am doing all these as my legacy. And I want to inspire other people to leave theirs, really.
Mhm. Yeah, I just the word legacy is it's like my favorite word because it encompasses everything, right? Where we came from, where we're going, it's our children, like it's the inheritance of 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 the full spectrum of the rainbow, of everything that we
Exactly.
are here to, that to embody, to embrace. And legacy is shared in so many ways, right? Like, so you're creating things that are physical that live on with you, and you're
Hmm.
also offering transmission. Like you're a living
Yes,
embodiment, right? Of the frequency that is also a legacy. And your babies and everything, everybody who gets touched, every heart that you touch is part of the legacy.
exactly. Big or small doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the depth that you touch people's heart that can be remembered in their soul.
Mhm.
And that's also how your hearts become lighter. In some goddess stories, when we pass over, the weight of our heart is very important. It's not about how much wrong we have done, the good or bad. It's the wish, the dream that we had when we came through. How much has have we manifested or share with others? The more we share, the deeper or the legacy that we have leave in this world throughout our lifetime, enable us to have a lighter heart as we pass over without regrets. And to me, that's the reason why we reincarnate again and again and again. It's not a punishment, it's a new chance for us to create more love and to experience more love, really.
I love that. It's so beautiful. And what Simone is referencing is the goddess Ma'at. And when you step into the afterlife, your heart is weighed with a feather. And and depending upon how you carry that, and it's interesting just to give some perspective for our listeners, when we talk about sin in this day and age, really the only sin is whether or not you continue to carry it and didn't forgive yourself for whatever it is that has happened to you. Because whatever it is, whatever we walk with, we always do the best we can, as you've said. And it's continuously learning to love, forgive, be in humility, and hold the lightness of heart so that we can keep just washing and growing, washing and growing. So yeah, it's really very powerful. And I just reading your book was there is such a sweetness, right? And even in the vibration that you're sharing now, there's just a continuity and a sweetness that is so playful and joyous. And it's just it's really quite a miraculous energy.
Definitely, because we are here as that child to play around, to create, to experiment, explore, and experience love. And every day it's a new day for us to do that.
Mhm.
It's not just to me, that's the beauty way. It's not just focus on um how much we heal, because when we are happy, playful, that itself, that bliss itself automatically heals a lot. It doesn't mean we are bypassing being happy, bypassing all the pain or the shadow part. To me, it's really focusing on being happy, living the beauty and the miracles in life really help us tap into the understanding to heal a lot of the pain that's stored within us.
I
And so,
I couldn't agree
really,
more. It's the decision to live in joy. And I mean, it's literally a decision because in the healing work, and as you know, I mean, it, the depths, you just will continue. Our entire lives will be recognizing what is not us and what is us, and moving through um, the myriad of things that we know we're here to transcend. So focusing and making the choice to live in joy and to be in that unity and play is really important because it becomes very serious and we can become very harsh and hard in the healing work itself. So I love that you bring this flavor of this buoyancy of like this, it's a regeneration. The quality is very regenerative.
yes.
Yeah.
And I see this work as the foundation of doing the healing work. It
Mhm.
is not healing and then creating this foundations. I really want to inspire people that we first build this foundations of harmony and peace first. That's available to us every single day, even in times when we are grieving, in times when we are deeply emotional. It holds us through when we are in that high frequency, and then it holds us through when we consider ourselves in a lower frequency. And I understand a lot of light workers do the very best to keep the frequency as high as possible, but we are in duality.
We are.
There is beauty diving through the whole entire spectrums of frequency. If you constantly just strive for the highest frequency, what it does, it's we missed out the gift that we can retrieve from the frequency we consider lower, the frequency
Absolutely.
we consider painful. And because there's such a rich wisdoms that come through it. And when we actually able to derive the wisdoms within our pain body, within that deep emotions we don't want to look into, we no longer fearful from it. We are truly
Free.
free, however we consider what type of frequency we are in, high, low. We can just be. We do not need to be trying, constantly doing, and understand just being isn't doesn't mean just closing your eyes, meditating, not doing anything, because in life there's too much to explore, too much to play. Don't waste time just closing your eyes.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean you don't, but there's so much more. And just being, to me, is when you are truly in union with your soul, able to heal that inner child playfulness and have that divine feminine um, connections that you can birth and rebirth and create. You start to be just being. Just beings mean it's effortless living that life. That wisdom spontaneously comes through in a snap. the ability to manifest what you want takes one thought, 1 second. And when you really truly embody that type of ability, that when you feel just being flowing in life, it's more than just closing your eyes, meditating. It is the beginning of it, but the end of it is a lot more exciting. And I really want, you know, whoever that's watching this, just experiment with it. What's beyond, the sacred practices that you are practicing, because there is always more to explore and expand within us. And so that's my motto.
I love that. And I was speaking with another sister this morning too, and we were talking about curiosity and how I mean, the beginning of this path, it's so like full of doorways, right? And it becomes this, we're super eager, spirit whispers at, a little something at us, and we're like, oh, there's something more. And we get so excited and become very childlike and curious. And we start to travel the terrain, whatever that looks like for each one of us. And I remember the beginning was so fun. Like it was filled with curious, joyful, like more spiritual experience. It was like tasting God, right? Just really wanting to like suckle at the mother and try this angel therapy and try this and just feel the full nuance of like, wow, being available to be penetrated by the divine. And then, as time went on, the path became hardened. And, you transverse a lot of terrain and do the ups and the downs, and it doesn't feel like it's all rainbows anymore.
I totally agree.
Right?
Totally agree. And that's because that's the old patriarchy way of learning. We all want to be expert. We
Yeah.
think that being the expert is the only way to be successful, to have that expertise, to look like we are the expert. That's when people actually listen to us. But spirituality is the other way.
Yes.
It's the constant ability of diving into that I don't know. So that's why in my book, there's so many I don't know, because the
Yeah.
moment you allow and acknowledge that I don't know everything. Like today, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. That's when that beautiful energies come through, that knowing comes through. And it's not something that you can prepare for.
No, it's not.
That beauty, that miracles only come through when you allow yourself to fully surrender into that I don't know.
Mm.
And diving into that I don't know frequency might feels like you're in the void of nothing. Nothing holds you. And that's why building this rainbow light around you enable you to have a good solid foundations
Mm.
to to really sink into that I don't know state. So
It's
that's it. That's
beautiful.
how I really see it.
I love that. I really love that. It's like really, really bowing into the container and developing and opening. And yeah, it feels really beautiful, Simone. It feels so lush, and there's so much wisdom in that book. It's such a joy, from the colors to the childlike innocence that it emanates. I was really blown away. So now you mentioned there's cards also. But were they part of this?
Yes, everything is part of this. And I have created four decks of cards, but
Wow.
printed only two. Everything is inside the book, actually,
Okay.
interconnected. So I have like Once Upon a Dream card,
It's
which is the
beautiful.
49 steps of
Okay.
the book. Inside is the 49 steps. And also right now I have the gift cards. So these are pure transmissions. So when we are in the void of nothing, sometimes we feel like we need clarity
Yeah.
or we need support. And to understand the pain body, what gifts are we retrieving? Because that's so important. It's not just about releasing, it's not just about letting it go, because there are gifts within the pain that we think we are feeling. Um, and so, yes, and the once upon dream card in those 49 steps, it's a direct or a non-linear way to understand how we can reunite with our own divine union, because that's union. It gives us a foundation to explore life with clarity, feeling safe, feeling playful. And so it's so important. And throughout history, walking that labyrinth is a mystery for many, many people, because it's you cannot logically tell people exactly what their next step is, no matter how intuitive we are, because
Agreed.
we're not supposed to. We
Mhm.
can share our insights to others, but ultimately, we are all born to have the ability to stand in our own power and find out which step is our step.
Yeah.
Someone's medicine can be someone's poison. So for those who are really into herbal medicine, you will know this straight away. At different time, we need different medicine, and it can be healing. Like, for example, if you have a very hot body right now, um you need some peppermint, right, to cool your body down. That become your medicine. But like during winter time, or if you are having menstruations right now,
Mhm.
peppermint is not the medicine anymore. It contracts your body. It
Mhm.
probably stops or prevent you menstruating freely. So when to use what medicine in this world, it's also very important. And so that divine union connection is what helps you really discern and act upon it. So yeah.
I love that. It's so rich because uh, what the world is needing so deeply right now is that dropping in and coming home. And so when you're talking about unity, it just feels like that little slice inside where we just are able to reconnect to that source. It's just like boom, a little bit of home so that we can open up and be able to draw in some of our higher faculties, our higher senses and open these hearts. And the world is in need of deep, deep heart opening right now. It's very chaotic, as we know, and there's so much happening.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I love to, every time I hear it from every medicine woman, it's different, right? But the texture of like really, really honor audience, listen to what she said around when you're in the pain, to remember that there's a wisdom in the pain. So access the gift. It's not nothing's happening to punish you. Nothing is happening against your will or authority. It might seem that way, but just it's like arch over just a little bit deeper and you'll be able to touch the cusp of something that is so revealing. There's something right there for you. Um, yeah, I'll need to hear that over and over again in my life, right? Because we oftentimes we forget when we're in it. And so just coming back to the remembering again.
The moment, when you retrieve those gifts within the pain, um, a lot of healing will happen,
Mhm.
and a lot of understanding will come through to
Yeah,
why your soul at a certain level chose this path to go. And you will understand that it's worth it. It's necessary for us to grow. We
it
no
is.
longer judge that process or judge ourselves like we shouldn't have done this, we shouldn't have done that. All these judgments will dissolve instantly. And so that's so
Absolutely.
important.
That
So
resistance,
important.
as soon as we're able to open up and the judgment fades away. And I know for me, for example, judgment has been a really major theme for me. It's part of my dharma to transmute this.
Mhm.
So, whatever is very strong for you in your life, like the reoccurring themes are part of your dharma. Like there's something that you're really at alchemical level transmuting in your soul. And so it's really powerful. But the moment that you can release the lever sort of on that judgment, there's a wellspring of divine
Exactly.
province that is able to roll in, and all the answers and all the clarity, everything's there.
Yes. 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 And so that's why that divine union, it's it's the foundation of spirituality.
Mm,
It's the foundation of life. And spirituality, it's not a luxury. It's not when you, oh, I can finally have the money, I finally, have the time to learn more. Um, it is it is the foundation that all kids should have and start learning even before they start learning 1 + 1 = 2.
I agree. And that this segues us into, you know, the embodiment of spiritual mothers and fathers on this planet, right? As folks, whether or not you're going to physically give birth to children, but those that are imparting wisdom and know that it's our role to pass on, because everything we learn and everything that we heal is not just for us. It's for everybody. So I love this segue of a sense of responsibility, right? That when you grow up without something and then you are gifted with it, then you so much want to transmit it and offer it to the next generation because we want them to be prepared. um I don't know what your upbringing was like. Where did you have a spiritual foundation in your home, or?
Christians, we Christians.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I grew up Catholic, and so there was something there. There was a seed, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, and
No matter, it's still a seed. No
yeah,
matter, how we see that, whether or not it's perfect, imperfect, it's a seeds of that love within us, and I can see that for sure.
yeah. I think that most people, I want to encourage more people to look for the seed because oftentimes in today's day and age, the polarization of perceiving just what was wrong with the family or what was going on, and just start to look for like, what did your parents leave as little awakening points for you? Like I think about my mother's bedroom, and the divine feminine was everywhere. Like France, there were images of France, Italy, like everything that I was gonna need later that I look back at, I'm like, "Oh my god." She just was giving me signs everywhere. Guan Yin is like the statue that's sitting in her living room, only she doesn't even know it's Guan Yin. So, I mean, so we
Exactly.
there are these little cues that are actually in our perceptual awareness. So it's really a fun exercise to look at like, what did your parents leave around for you to see?
Exactly, because no matter how we judge our parents or how we see all these mother wounds, when we switch our focus and focus on the gift that they brought through for us, we our wounds, our pain, our connections transform. And I think that's very important as well because um, when we choose our parents, and there's deep reason behind it. It's not just to heal them or transmute their wounds. They did the job. To At least when I look at my parents, they did the very best to bring more love into this world.
Yes.
And so when we can see that, we also learn from them, and we also retrieve those gifts because, of course, if it's within them, it's within our being as well. It helps us remember what we are here to do, the legacy, inspire us to leave that legacy we are supposed to, we came for.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that's so important.
You bring such a beautiful perspective too around, which I love because I love moving us all out of the blame. and bringing us into the province of the divine garden, as I guess I feel like I want to say. So if our intelligence and our higher consciousness derived this whole path for us, choosing our parents, choosing our siblings, our place of origin, right? You being in Hong Kong, me growing up in New York, like all these very specific details, then we start to see that the configuration is brilliant and that there is medicine in the wheel, like at every single turn. And so it just opens up and sort of illuminates the possibility that everything actually is working to serve us.
Exactly, because when the rainbow energies first came to me, when I'm living in the middle of the city, I doubt, why me? It shouldn't be in some sacred site so people, you know, I mean, even Hawaii,
Yeah.
Hawaii people,
Yeah.
that's where the rainbow should be. Hong Kong, what? It took me so long. I really thought there was something wrong with my connections, and that's part of the reason why I run, you know, uh, across the world to find help, because I thought there's seriously something wrong. A rainbow come into the city, but when I look at where, this city, yes, it is
Of
the
course it
rainbow.
came
It's a
there.
very international,
Yeah.
exactly, and it's the rainbow that dive deep into life. It was a very busy city,
And
and
that's why
that's
you're needed
also
there. That's why the
exactly.
rainbow needs to be anchored there. Yes.
Exactly. And so when I realized that and let go of the trauma or whatever pain I feel or confusions, then I step into my power. So it doesn't matter where you are, the moment you reach that divine union and make a decision that your life is sacred,
Mm.
that's when you bring sacredness no matter where you are, no matter what you do, even if no matter if you're in the business world, in the spiritual world, in whatever world you consider. I mean, we are one world. And so just do it. My point is just do it. Just live it.
Agreed. And that is, I think, a pivotal point. I just recently wrote a newsletter. It was like, what would you do if you knew you were sacred? Like, who would you be? What would you put in your body? Who would you associate with? Once you know you're sacred, we know that like through the feminine embodiment walk, once a woman is touches something deep inside of her, everything starts to shift. Our decisions, what we start to believe, everything around us starts to change. We kind of move out of illusion or deformity and and conformity and and lean back into a greater state of reverence.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
it's really powerful too because like you, it's very important for us as wisdom keepers. We travel sacred sites and access different information and coding in the land, activate us, activate the earth. We're all like working together. But there was a long time where I was personally living in an illusion where I then needed those sites. But in reality, once we touch them and embody them, that grace is always living and breathing inside of you. So
Exactly.
we actually give power away when after we visited, I mean. So it's really important. Now you have all of that inside of you. It's part of the work. It's part of everything, right? All those
Yes.
connections and all those intersections with who you've been before that you would need to go to those places again.
Exactly. And so the way I see it is, yes, those places are powerful, but you are equally powerful.
Yes.
When you do have the chance, when life opens up the possibility, go to those sites, do go, co-create with them, co-create with these sacred land or light beings. You are as powerful. You do not need to give power away to them or to the site to become powerful.
And
When you
did you know
see
that?
yourself, mhm,
Did you know that in the beginning or did you learn that from the journey?
I learned that through communion with the divine, because when I first started here, the mediumship, the channeling was the heat, that was very that was the thing, to do. And people or light beings come through and talk through them. And when I connect with them, they never want to come into my body and talk through me. So I had my own experience, like, or or grieving about, why are you not coming into my body? Is my body not pure enough? Is my channel not pure enough? I did a lot of prayers. I went, to a lot of healers trying to align my channel, so that I was hoping that they come into my body and talk through me, because that's when I felt that, oh, that's when people would truly believe what I say.
Yeah.
And slowly, as I journey with them, and them refusing coming into my body and just guiding me to become who I am, that's how I learned that our own very being is actually as powerful. It is only it's a misunderstanding that we are any less enlightened as they are,
Yeah.
really.
I love
And
that.
so really don't give away your power.
I'm a big fan of this. I had to learn this and go through this personally myself. And similar to you, I just was so excited to open. It was like, just please unwrap me, spirit. So let me go get a rake, let me open up this channel. Let me open up this channel. Just please open me. I just want to commune with the divine. And at first, I started doing trance channeling and bringing spirit into the body, but it was just not my way. Same. It's like there was a certain level of soul sovereignty where my soul was like, same as yours, just nope. And that we don't have to surrender our vessels for something else when we are as divine. And so it's just coming into communion. And I mean, sometimes we think we're talking to other beings, we're actually talking to ourselves, right? In our multidimensional form. But whatever way we need to do that, it's like seeking counsel with, coming into communion with, in the same way you and I are doing right now, right? And
Exactly.
in the same way we've done this before at some other time, I'm sure. But yeah, so it's really beautiful. And I think that we're learning so much about boundaries in our physical relating. So when you don't have them in your physical relating, you also don't have them in your spiritual relating. So everything is new, and you start to learn what you do here is also how it's going to translate here, right? So just really coming down to just really honoring and knowing too that true divine beings that are serving the highest light do not want us to give our power away. They're imploring us to step into the fullness of our power. So I love that you had that was a real experience for you, that they just wouldn't come in. And obviously also your higher consciousness was like, no. But even if your
I
human was like, come, that your higher consciousness was like, no.
Exactly. I think because the previous light workers, light workers who walked in front of us, has done so much work in regarding these kind of work already.
Yeah.
And us as a humanity is just ready to evolve. There was nothing wrong. It is just new openings are available to us. There's so many of us light workers are deeply transforming.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful for this to happen, to even experience our power side by side with them.
Mhm.
And that's why to me, leaving a legacy, it's part of co-creating with all creations, whether or not you see them powerful or less powerful, enlightened, not enlightened, it's co-create with all creations, really.
It is. It's like the great weave. And
Exactly.
thank you for this, because this conversation is really highlighting some very nuanced specificities around everything. Like the smallest of things is a brilliance, is a nugget of gold inside the weave. Like from the neighbor down the street, like everything, our consciousness is creating all of this.
Exactly.
And most of the
Exactly.
time we take it for granted, like even the simple things. If we're not having like massive experiences, but the healing and the connections, they just purport something so beautiful and it just lands. So just being more aware of that. So thank you for that. Yeah, that's
Every one of us, are here to experience the magnificent of the divine, the miracles.
yeah.
And I went through a phase trying to chase other people's divine miracles. And
Mhm.
I thought that's the way. But until it happens to me, that's when I realized that we all have a different set of divine miracles that we individually can experience.
Mhm.
So, right now, what I focus on is to encourage everyone to have that faith first, be open to your own set of divine miracles in your life, in your own way. It doesn't matter where your life is. You do not need to go into like high mountains. One of the things is because I'm a mom, I cannot afford going to the mountains for like 45 days, 50 days to meditate, to have those experiences. But it came straight into my daily life.
Mhm.
So no matter where you are, however your life is showing you, keep having faith, trust.
Mm. I love that. The source is everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly,
It's true
exactly.
too, because it can be so easy to look at other people's lives and experiences, and especially now with the internet, I'm sure it's so much more polarized for people, right? Than even our parents' generation. They just had access to their neighbors or their church, their community in that way. But we have like full broadcast. So holding one center and staying true to the self and tuning in is really important. And that's why these messages and even just all of us embodying that and tapping the child or the next one on the hand and saying, hey, you're perfect just the way you are. It's in you.
Yes.
I'll point to it for you, but you gotta, it's inside of you. It's not out there.
It's not outside, it's deep within us. It's
Yeah.
deep within us. And that's why, connecting with the divine feminine, it's a key for us to reconnect to that divine child, to rebirth as it, because it's going downwards, it's deep within us.
Mm.
And as we build the connections, we'll be able to find that birthing canal and rebirth ourselves through it.
I love that. So beautiful. Is there anything you want to read from the book? You want to like pick a page and
Yes, definitely. Why not? I have this is the S testimonial 28 that I want to share.
okay.
It is about how we can perform the divine play. So our life becomes the divine play that plays through us. And so it says, to my beloved children, be a student when the divine presents. Always live in your essence and never bend. Express how you truly feel. You must not pretend. Please do not just grieve when it feels like the end. Through our purest love and compassion, you can be content. We are a sacred heart from the start. Billion of illusions we have passed. On earth, nothing seems to last, but all our sacred stories are everlasting. Live life now and have a blast. Blessing each other is how this chapter ends. As we transcend, a new world descend. We all ascend. Now we begin to live that love that never ends.
Mm.
So in here, I talk about all our sacred stories are everlasting. That's the legacy that I'm talking about. And that's how that new world is going to descend point us all to experience and experience the eternal love that we are all dreaming of, no matter whether or not you consider yourself spiritual or not. You still dream of love. That's a universal language that I'm talking about here. And love, it's beyond words. It's a frequency that you feel and you still remember,
Mm,
really. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, it's a beautiful transmission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me, so where is the book available? Where tell me where the cards are available. Tell everybody so that they can.
Yes. The book is available on Amazon right now. And the card is about to be launched and to be published beginning of next year. And so if you're interested to get the book, go to Amazon, book deposit. You can still get it from there directly.
Wait,
And
that's
if there is
so
any majestic rainbow love, I have it too. Nice.
so gorgeous.
And it is a book of transmission, pure transmission. So I encourage um, anyone who reads it, read a couple of pages at a time. Don't try to
That's
finish
what
the
I did.
entire book the whole time. And journey through it, like drop down all your emotions, because this itself brings a lot of healings and transformation within your being. Do not try to understand the book.
Mm,
This is not about understanding what you this is not about understanding through our mind. It's about allowing our heart to be transformed,
mm.
really.
It's beautiful. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for this body of work. It's really very powerful. I'm such a big fan. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you so much.
I think
Thank
it
you.
takes so much courage for in this living world. It takes so much courage to live fully and to trust and to birth creations in the world. I think it's so phenomenal. And once you create something physical, like we have children, and that's an incredible creation on its own. But once you create something that is like for others, it's there's something so joyous in that co-creation that when somebody else is reading you, they're reading your soul, like this
Exactly.
gift, this offering. It's super powerful. We take so much for granted in the world, but these things are like, I mean, how long did it take you to write this book? It's
It came, the ciphers came to me, so I actually wrote it in my own soul languages first,
yeah.
and then I translate that into the book. So the soul language is what I call the ciphers. The original text of the Majestic Rainbow Love came to me in 2019,
Yeah.
and then it took me about 2.5 years to finish writing this book. And the this itself, it's miracle for me because I cannot write. I know myself very well. Those friends who knows me well, I'm not a writer at all. I do not consider. And writing itself was one of my like weakness. So for me, my experience through this is I'm able to birth through what I consider my weakness is, and people still feel that divine transmissions and that love through it. To me, it's absolutely magical. So I really encourage anyone, however you judge yourself, whether or not you can birth, create anything, do. When that inspirations come through, no matter whether or not you see it's possible or not, it will come through. It really will. If I can write this book, everyone can birth something in this world that's in that divine alignment, really.
Thank you so much. So you're already leaving. I mean, you've said it all, but as far as legacy, I mean, this is it. It's just going to continue to grow. This is a body of work, like a full body of work.
Yes. And legacy, it's something that you leave behind when we pass over.
Yeah. Yeah. This is here to stay. This is like part of the Earth's transmission now.
And when you choose to reincarnate and come back, the beauty is you will benefit from the legacy you've left behind in those past lives. You
Mhm.
will actually experience the majestic of it. And that's the beauty of it.
I agree. That's really beautiful. And also the way your children are also receiving this. And
Exactly.
yeah, and even I feel it going backwards too, and even your family, your ancestors. I mean, it is like we are just like grapes on the vine. It's really very beautiful. There's
And
so
most
much to be.
importantly, when the divine created us, that's what its dream is for us to leave our legacy experience that magnificent within us. We are their children, and leaving the legacy is part of the divine dream
Mm.
behind the creation of the earth. And so, yeah,
This makes me just want to touch in and segue to the audience to just remind yourselves to remember that no matter who you are, big, small, round, wherever you are in the world and wherever you are in your process, you are here on purpose. And whether it's you're channeling a book or you're delivering mail, like whatever it is for you, you are so instrumental and important in the weave. And so just really honoring and acknowledging that every single one of us is so purposeful and
I
to
totally agree.
just find that, yeah, it makes me a little bit emotional because there's so many times in our lives where we're looking, we think it should look different. Right, but it's like, oh, the principle, if we could just turn towards ourselves and just see the divine perfection of who we are, what we're experiencing, there's a whole invisible experience and expression that we can walk through that will ignite a lot of compassion and love and we'll realize that purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm, it's big. It's big, Mama. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Is
you.
there anything else that you feel like is important that you wanna share with the audience before I
I
start
am
wrapping up?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. If there's any questions, of course, they can reach me through my
Yeah,
IG or DM
perfect.
me, DM you.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm gonna put the information below, of course, but tell me, what's your website? What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Oh, I have a website. People can email me, but the best way is to DM me directly through my Instagram.
Okay.
That's when I can respond to and
And
explain to them.
the name of the Instagram again is
Simone.Chiffon.
okay, alright, perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
Alright,
that's perfect. And of course, right now I'm slowly still developing the offerings, and I will be putting out some. Um, it's later on. Later on, I have to do things step by
I
step.
hear you.
I'm
Yep,
just
take
at the
your time.
beginning, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. But there will be more things coming through towards the winter, yeah, and next year.
Beautiful, beautiful. We look forward to receiving all of those. Thank you for blessing the world with this book,
Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
and I'm so
This
glad to
is
spend this time with
amazing.
you. Yeah, it's so I love that. Yeah, I just love how we're all connected. It's so much magic.
It's so much magic. Like it went beyond what like imagined. Honestly, the topic that we touch base and the connections that I think we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's
I
big.
love that.
It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank
And
you.
if there's anything else I can help in the future, just even not for myself, for you, just let me know. Pop me a text. I'm just a text away from you.
Great, great. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, thank you to the audience. We hope that I know that you've received a beautiful transmission here today. And pick up the book, pick up the cards, be curious, be in your innocence, and thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.